Hello Virgo, and welcome to my channel Inspiring Life Changes. My name's Colette and I'm here today to do a reading for you Virgos, Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising. If you don't know where those placements are, there will be a free natal link in the description box down below for you to go and check out. It seems like an age since I was last here doing a reading for Virgo. I've done other readings in between, so that seems to have taken up more time than I thought it was going to, so I apologise for that. But I am here now and I'm going to focus on getting the rest of these readings out between now and when the sun moves into Gemini, hopefully. So, Virgo. Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising Virgo, and also you Virgo cross watchers who may be interested in a Virgo, have had a relationship with a Virgo, or you're wanting to have a relationship, or you are still in a relationship with a Virgo. This reading may also be your story rather than it being for the Virgo that you're actually watching, so just be aware of that as well. So as I am doing at the moment with all my readings, I'm going to jump in with your Major Arcana card, kind of overall energy for this reading. And you got two today, Virgo. You got the Temperance card and you got the Fool. Now the Temperance card for me today is talking about the need for, like, there's a situation, or because this is an overall energy about the reading itself. So this is the kind of flavour, if you like, of what's kind of behind everything else. And the Temperance card for me always talks about the flow of feeling, or the flow of kind of communication, keeping something going within a relationship. It's always about a relationship. And she has two cups here, one in one hand and one in the other, which is the kind of constant backwards and forwards of this flow of energy between two people in any relationship, including intimate relationships, because it speaks of a need for there to be this kind of constant flow, because if there isn't a constant flow between two people backwards and forwards, then there is no relationship. It just doesn't exist. And that's really what this is saying here. Also, I feel today that there's a need for a kind of sense of balance within your relationship here as well, and also possibly to take more time for yourself. Whatever the situation's about, give it kind of more time. Don't try and rush it. Don't try and force this situation, whatever it is. And also coming through quite strongly for me today is the fact that communication is a two-way thing, as in it's not just about talking. It's not just about being the one that's putting in all the input for something. You then have to allow the other person to say what they have to say, and you have to listen. That is the key to most relationships. It's not so much the talking, it's the listening. And most people don't realise that, or most people don't even see listening as part of communication. When they think of communication, they just think of verbally expressing. But listening is also very, very important. And I think that there's an aspect very strongly within this today. That's what I'm kind of feeling, that there's somebody who needs to listen. There is a new beginning here as well. This could also be a relationship. There's a few different aspects here. This is either a relationship where people are working on it, you are working on it together, and you're aiming to start something new, and taking a leap of faith and trust that it is going to be okay. Or, like I was saying, there's somebody is not being listened to. Somebody doesn't feel as though they're being listened to, and they're getting to the stage where they're feeling that they're just going to have to leave this. That they can't work on it any longer, that there's no give and take, there's no flow of communication here. and that they need to move on themselves on this journey, to trust their own instincts about it and their own feelings, their own inner deeper knowing, and trust the bigger picture as well. Trust the universe, trust that the universe knows where it's taking them. So there is two sides of this story, I feel, today. So if you can bear that in mind, Virgo, as we go through the rest of the reading, that for some of you this is going to be about you kind of working together and trying to work things through and have a new beginning and move past where you've been. And for some of you it's more about taking yourself forward and leaving that relationship because it's something that you're not being given, what's the word I'm looking for? You're not being valued here. You're not being given your dues. Somebody's not giving you as much as you're giving them, shall we say. And we have at the very centre of your reading today, Virgo, the Star card in reverse, which is talking to me about a disconnection. And because it's in reverse, the Star card is about that kind of like, knowing that there's more out there, the connectivity of something bigger, of connecting with your path, your true star, which could also be why these two cards have come out here as well. There's also a healing going on here as well. Even though I feel on some level that the healing is not necessarily being recognised for what it is, because it's in reverse. It's a slow process. It is a slow process, which I feel this Temperance card is kind of saying, don't try and rush through this. You might want to get a successful outcome, but you need to have patience and you need to take your time here. Particularly for those of you who are wanting to work on this new beginning, there is something here that needs to be healed. You're in the healing process, shall we say, or you're beginning the healing process. And that's also for those of you that are moving forward and coming out of a relationship as well. There is a healing taking place here. So you are kind of disconnecting yourself from something and kind of becoming more self-focused, in the sense of like this urn here, this this urn that she's hugging here. I always think of this as being like a medicine, because it relates also to the Aquarius energy as well, of the water bearer, the bearing of the water of life, which again is a healing remedy in itself. But because it's in reverse, I feel as though it is a slow process. And like I say, for those of you that are walking away from something, or moving on into a new beginning, this is about focusing on your own healing here. And it's come out with the 7 of air over the top of this. And the 7 of air can be a card of deceit. It can be a card of somebody who's not being completely open and honest. And I always feel that with this card here. I always feel as though she's trying to fit in with something that doesn't quite, she's not a part of that family, shall we say, or that kind of, it's not her energy, but she's trying to kind of make it so. She wants to be a part of this, but this is the challenge and the crossing energy here as well. So there could be lies, deceit, somebody's not being completely open and honest about things, and maybe that's also the communication, that somebody's holding that back. Maybe somebody doesn't want to communicate their true feelings here. Again, it's air, it's communication. It relates to the energy of the mind, the logical processes. Gemini, Libra and Aquarius. It doesn't have to be any of those particular signs, but that is the energy that it relates to. So you may feel at the moment, I also kind of feel that this is a protective energy as well somehow, that you're protecting yourself here by maybe having to kind of hold something back or hold your cards close to your chest, kind of not reveal everything at this moment in time. There could also be elements of that within this card as well. Maybe particularly for those of you who are moving forward on your own. So what's in your head at this moment in time, Virgos, and what you're kind of aware of with the Six of Fire here, is that you are kind of rising up out of a situation. Six of Fire often talks of a victory, a feeling as though you've risen above something, that you're elevated above something, particularly seeing as this is like a hot air balloon. And it's upright, so there is a strong sense here of either way, I feel, for those of you that are leaving something and those of you that are willing and ready to work on something, there is a strong sense of this is a victory that you've achieved here. For those of you who are leaving something, you kind of, you know, this is something that you're very much in this energy. You're very much in this kind of moving forward, moving away, above, rising above something, and maybe even kind of, maybe this is what this is also about, that you're rising above any of this kind of negative energy as well that may be being thrown at you. If there's anybody out there, Virgos, doing this, or you yourself maybe feeling like you want to do this, be negative and kind of throw accusations and what have you, but you're rising above it. You're not allowing that energy to drag you down. So you're kind of taking the higher road, I suppose, in a way. The energy that's been around you for a while and what's moving away, Virgo, here we have this 5 of air. So from the 6 that's in your head and the 5 here, this is you in the past, the energy that's moving away, of feeling as though you are walking on this very thin tightrope. Again, I feel that if this is about relationships, it doesn't have to be about relationships. This could also relate to family, it could relate to business. But there's this general feeling of kind of, if you see here, she's kind of got her pointy toe very precariously placed, and she looks incredibly kind of poised and like she has got her balance here, and her kind of like, if you look, she looks like she's got this flair and style about her. But it's like, from here, where does she go? You know, what is her next move? The 5 is always about adversity, challenge, kind of more adverse situations that you have to kind of try and find a way out of. Find a solution to the problem. Again, it's air, it's communication. It's the logical thinking brain that I feel has been kind of working overtime. But again, I just get this feeling that you are rising above things. But this is the energy that's moving away. This is where you've been. I feel as though you feel yourselves, Virgo, that you've been not only walking this very kind of thin line, shall we say, and kind of having to tiptoe around a situation. And this goes for Virgos in both sides of the relationship, as in those that are leaving a relationship and those who are kind of trying to work through something with somebody as well. A relationship being two people, really. And again, that's why it doesn't have to be a personal relationship. It can be business, it can be family. But there has been this time, I feel, where you feel as though you've had to literally kind of tiptoe around and be very kind of I wouldn't say reluctant or hesitant, but more kind of just what's the feeling I'm getting here is this kind of not wanting to give any reason or any cause to kind of unbalance the situation that you're in or you have been in. Not wanting to have to deal with a kind of explosive energy and feeling very much like, you know, you're having to kind of walk this very fine line. But this energy is moving away. And what we have underneath all this is not only a new energy, a new passionate fire energy. We have this little pixie here holding onto this, or fairy, holding onto this heart here and clutching it really tightly to her. So again, I feel that this is for both of you sets of Virgos in particular who are leaving something behind. This is a very passionate energy. It's an ace of fire. And it's in the subconscious, so in a way this could also be something that happened a while back. This doesn't have to be the energy that you're in now, because it's the root cause of something. So it's kind of embedded into the relationship, whichever relationship that you happen to be dealing with here. There was a very strong, fiery, passionate, driving, very possibly sexual, for those in intimate relationships here, attraction. But I feel that somehow that kind of got more out of hand, and the kind of love side of things between two people was kind of discarded, ignored, that it became a very physical thing rather than it being an emotional thing. And that you may have even tried to keep the relationship alive by having a lot of sexual interaction. But that doesn't necessarily mean that there was a lot of emotion behind it. And what's moving in here with the Nine of Fire, the energy here I feel is kind of transformation. I see this energy similar with this deck of cards to the actual transformation death energy, but this is more about transformation, like you're working on something. You're going to be working on something, and again you could be working on something together with somebody, or you could be working on something for yourself. But this is the energy that I'm feeling here at this time. You're working on it. It's something that you're kind of very focused on. There's a real sense of focus here, and if you look, it's like it's difficult to see which way it's going, which I really like about this card. It can either be like, you know, these fireflies are turning into these beautiful stars and they're kind of coming into a chain reaction here, or these stars are, she's kind of releasing this energy, and they're kind of moving on to become something else. But there's a sense here of working, focused. And I don't mean work as in day-to-day work. This is more about a sense of you, almost again like this manifestation energy. You're working on bringing something into your life, or you're working on getting something out of your life. It works either ways with this card. And it has been, because it's a 9, almost at the 10, it has been a situation that's been kind of it's taken its time for you to get where you are now. So I kind of feel as though it started here with this ace. And for some of you, you're prepared to still carry on working on it. And for the rest of you, you're going to let it go. You're going to transform it and leave it. So let's see what the confirmation cards have to say for you here, Virgo. Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising, Virgo. Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising, Virgo. The Star and the 7 of Air. Why is the Star and the 7 of Air here? What is it that Virgo, Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising need to know about this energy of the Star and 7 of Air? Tricky. Don't know which way to hold it. You have got the 2 of Swords. And the 2 of Swords is about decision making. It's also about being in a situation where you don't necessarily want to find yourself. And I feel as though it's connected to this energy here. In the sense of you feeling like, you know, that you're on this, walking on this fine line, this tightrope, this kind of having to keep your balance and not wanting to upset the equilibrium here, shall we say, upset the energies, upset the, and this feeling that you could easily put your foot wrong here and having to kind of make a decision. And I feel as though it's kind of different for both of you, because it kind of came out in a kind of odd way and I wasn't sure which way up it should go. So I kind of feel as though for some of you it's upright. It's more of a kind of a feeling of working things through, trying to make a decision, trying to kind of find the right compromise, shall we say, for both of you, so that you're not in this negative energy, that you're not arguing and kind of making matters worse for each other, and actually kind of listening to each other, because I really do feel that that is a major part of this today, is this lack of listening, and it came out earlier. Listening to each other. And for those of you that are walking away, I think it's kind of the same message, but it's like it's done. It's like there is no, like, you know, you're just trying to kind of now keep things together and you really want to get out of this situation. You know, it could be a very difficult situation at this moment in time, not being able to leave because of the way things are, shall we say, at this present time in people's lives. You can't just walk out the door and go into another situation so easily as you probably could have done previously. You can't just move into a new home and just... So I feel as though a lot of people are kind of trying to find that you know, that balance in a difficult situation here. Almost feeling like a stranger. In a place that they've been, that they called home, but it no longer feels that way. So the Six of Fire. Why is the Six of Fire here? Yeah. The Eight of Wands in reverse. So this is you kind of trying to keep on top of things, as I was saying. And again, I think this message is for both parties, or both kind of those of you who are leaving, those of you who are staying and working through with something. You're feeling more buoyant and uplifted, and things are kind of, because of the situation you're in, although it's not easy, you are kind of trying to communicate and work things out. But with the Eight of, because you can't kind of move forward, you can't kind of leave the situation, I feel. So you're kind of having to look at things a different way, or some of you are more open to looking at things a different way, because the situation is has kind of forced you into that energy. This isn't for all of you. For those of you that are, again, wanting to leave, it's a very difficult situation because you're stuck in a place that you don't want to be. Usually with the Eight of Wands, it talks about kind of life flowing along easily. The dolphins are having a great time, they're playing, the emotions are riding high, the ship's moving in the right direction, it's being taken along easily. There's no obstacles up ahead. It's a clear vision, clear view, you can see where you're going. But when it's in the reverse, it's kind of saying that this ship isn't going anywhere at this time. And I always liken the ship to life itself. For me, it's symbolic of life. And this ship ain't moving. That's all there is to it. But you're still kind of rising above it here. You're still trying to kind of make the best of a situation. Or stay out of the way of trouble, for those of you that are in a situation that you're not really wanting to be in. So what have we got here? Okay, Five of Air. We have the Five of Cups. And this is a situation of somebody betraying somebody else, or somebody feeling as though they've got to leave. So somebody's already left. Whether they're still there or not, emotionally, they have gone. They've fled. They've left the building. They're no longer in a emotional connection with this person. You may still be living in the same environment, but there's no emotional input. And for others of you, you are still for others of you, I feel as though you're both kind of in that situation where you're both kind of how can I put it? It's like, again, it's to do with you both wanting to compromise and work things out. And so as before, where you both might have responded in this way of kind of running away from each other, now you're more willing to communicate and kind of try and find a middle ground, I feel. And see if there's any way of you kind of working on this relationship, because there is still one cup standing here, but it is only one cup, so it would imply to me that there's a lot of work that would need to be done here. But like I say, for the vast majority of you, again, it's adverse situations. So this adverse situation in some ways is bringing some of you together, and in other ways this adverse situation is forcing you emotionally to just detach, just leave. Okay. The Death card, which is what I was kind of talking about with this card here as well. So that's interesting, because the Death card for me is always transformation. But it's come out over the top of the Ace of Fire here, and it's come out in reverse as well. So this is a kind of ending of something here. A kind of something is no longer, and I feel with those of you that have left the building here, this is how you're feeling. It's kind of almost like you're just dead inside. That whatever fire and passion kind of initially brought this together, it's just no more. And for the rest of you who are kind of working on this situation, there is a slow transformation rising. Again, because it's in reverse, and like I said, there's only the one cup standing here. So that it does need a lot of work if the relationship is to move forward. But a death can sometimes be a good thing in a relationship, because it's kind of, you've now got the opportunity maybe to work from a new creative place. But it's kind of, can you put the old in the past? Can you bury it? Can you allow it to not kind of rise into your present and become a part of your future? I feel that that's what this is about in some ways as well. This energy that you're kind of focused on and going to be working through. Those of you who are wanting to work together and work with this energy here, it is going to be about you kind of transforming what you had into something brighter and with more hope as well. And of course, we've got the star energy itself here as well, which can also talk about hope. But again, because it's in reverse, I do feel as though it's going to take work in the sense of communication, in the sense of listening to each other and really kind of accepting who both of you are as well, Virgo. So let's see what we have for this Nine of Fire energy here. We have two cards that have turned over. We have the Sun and we have the Ace of Wands again. Very good energies. Both of them are really good energies. I feel like there's a real positivity behind all of this as you move forward, and that doesn't matter for who, whether this is those of you staying together or those of you leaving this relationship and partnership behind. Either way, there's going to be success, there's going to be victory, there's going to be new doors opening, there's going to be new clarity, new insights, new, especially with this wand here as well, which of course we've got down here as well. So you've got this energy come out twice. There's a lot of fire and a lot of passion, a lot of driving something forward. For some of you, I'm just going to say this, for some of you who are going to be staying together, you may even find that you could end up having a child, because the Ace of Wands is a very sexual energy, and you've got it twice down here. So just be careful of that, if that's what you want. It is upright, so it is a very powerful energy. It's a very creative energy. And with the Ace of Wands, you can either create outwardly and actually kind of make something within the physical realm, or you can create more inwardly and create a human being. It's all creative energy. It doesn't really matter, but it will matter to the person who's actually working with this creative energy. So I think that's the kind of message here. But it is very positive. There's a real positive vibe about all of this. There's a real kind of new energy, new beginnings, something really bright, something really happy, joyous, transformation. Something that was one way is going to become something else. And even for those of you who are walking away from this relationship, it's saying that this is good, this is right, this is what you should be doing. Don't hang on to something that's not working. That you are going in the right direction. The decision that you're making here is going to lead you to much more fulfilling and kind of sustaining, long-lasting happiness. So, Virgo, let's see what the Moon Wisdom cards have to say to you here. And I might pull two. I might pull one for those of you. So I'm going to pull one for those of you who are staying together first. So a Moon Wisdom card for those Virgos, Sun, Moon, Venus and Rising Virgo, who are staying with their partner and wanting to work on this relationship. Or again, it can be family, it can be work related. It's just a relationship that you need to keep something going. But I feel at this moment in time it's much more about intimate and personal relationships, especially as we've got Venus going retrograde in, I think she goes retrograde tomorrow. I think she's stationed direct today and goes retrograde tomorrow. It could be stationed tomorrow and goes retrograde. There's so many planets. I know that after that Jupiter does the same thing, and Saturn has just gone station direct as well. So all three of them this week, the major planets, outer major planets, are all about to take a turnaround, which can mean that life can take a complete turnaround as well. So this could all come as a bit of a surprise to some of you Virgos out there as well. So what have we got? We have emotions are running high, supermoon. And I'm not surprised. So this is for you Virgos that are wanting to stay together, wanting to work through with this. Emotions are running high. And I feel as though that's got a lot to do with the fact that you're kind of in a space where you're having to work together. And there's a lot of things that you are kind of going to communicate that you maybe haven't done previously to each other. Whether you've been together for a long time or a short period of time, living in the same space. Maybe you don't really know each other as well as you thought you knew each other, so emotions are high here. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. It just means that you emotionally, I mean, it could be that emotionally you're going to connect a lot deeper with each other. That your emotions are going to come out more than you would have let them before, previously, Virgo. So let's see what the outcome is for those of you that are walking away eventually, or emotionally already have left the situation. We have conclusions are within reach. And I feel that this is you with your barrier up here. This is your emotions. And it's like it's in a cage. It's locked away. It's like this little heart here. It's locked, it's blocked. It's kind of like, nope, it's not coming out. This is your decision. And so it kind of also says to me in a way that you are conclusions are within reach. So maybe there will be some breakthrough for you to be able to actually leave the situation at some point soon as well. But I definitely get a feeling that this is like bars on a cage. This is you kind of, you've taken your emotions and you've put them where you can kind of take care of them. Maybe that's also what this star card here is saying as well. This is about you kind of focusing on you for your betterment and your personal needs here. So, Virgo, let's see what the Namaste blessing card had to say for you. You've got this particular card here, which is the Om Shanti Peace Blessing. And it says, Om Shanti, blessed are you with everlasting peace beyond words or understanding. Blessed are you with tranquility and bliss. Blessed are you with a clarity that reveals the beauty of your soul and through which all appears as infinite. So it may also have something to do with this energy here as well. Because I do feel as though there's going to be more clarity coming into your life, and this feeling of you no longer kind of stumbling about in the dark about something, or that you're having to tiptoe around something that you really isn't sitting well with you at this moment in time, Virgo. So the last card we have here, interestingly enough, is emotions. So there is a lot of emotional energy around at this moment in time. And it doesn't surprise me because we have just had a full moon in Scorpio. Video is on my channel, which I did the other day. I did a full moon Scorpio astrology reading, and I also did a video for the tarot card reading as well. I used to do them both together, but they were taking up too much time, so I've separated them. So if you're interested, you can go and check them out. Emotions, full moon in Scorpio is all about the emotions, and it's about, because it's Scorpio, because it's ruled by Pluto, the underworld, the transformation. It's all about kind of bringing all this negative, maybe not just negative, but about kind of things that have been buried from the past, things that have been kind of kept down below. Like I was saying, you know, maybe these emotions, where it says your emotions are running high, you know, maybe this is something to do with that super full moon that we've just had as well. And now kind of everything's coming to the surface. It's all kind of erupting. And there's this kind of expression in a way that you may not have been ready for or even prepared for, Virgo. So let's see what the black tourmaline emotion card has to say. It has come out. Has it come out before? I'm not sure if it has come out before. I'm not sure. Don't think it has. It did come out the other day for a reading that I did for somebody. That's why I remember it. It's not a card that I've put on my channel before. So the chakra is the root chakra, and the colour is black. So it's about connecting through our energies of this kind of energy. Again, this keeps coming up quite a lot at the moment. This kind of energy connects to the three base chakras, the chakras below the heart chakra, which is our connection with the physical world, to do with the root chakra, sacral chakra and the solar chakra, and they're all very much about kind of our survival instinct and our scarcity instincts, and kind of fear as well can relate to that. So, I'm afraid of the dark, you cried as your parents comforted you and turned on a reassuring nightlight. From your youngest conscious moments, you feared that something vile and vicious lurking in that blackness might gobble you up. The darkness represents the unknown. Fear of the unknown. That's what this card talks about to me in many ways, is leaping into the unknown. Fear of the unknown is an accepted human paradigm, characterising the uncomfortable relationship you have with uncertainty. Most of you relate to the unknown as if it were the enemy, a fathomless, unpredictable black hole. Humans are afraid of the unknown because you assume you have no control over it. What frightens you most is the unknown inside yourself, that you may be unable to control. You fear others because their behaviour is unpredictable. You recognise too much of yourself, and I think that's what this is talking about as well, that unpredictable kind of tiptoeing around somebody or a situation, because it's unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen next. You recognise too much of yourself in others not to be afraid. What might they do to you, or you to them? Emotions are the most terrifying aspect of the unknown self for humans. Underneath your carefully manicured and tailored exteriors, very Virgo, sorry, I just had to say that, you fear there may be a demon waiting to wreak havoc. You correctly sense your unlimited potential. All possibilities imaginable are within you. These options are present so that you can be educated as to what it means to be human. And that could well be what this card is talking about as well, this kind of potential for being able to change and transform the situation itself. To experience the diversity, humans incarnate many times to attend different schools of experience, much like a field of study in college. Based on what experiences you need for growth, you may decide to be a saint in one life and a murderer in the next. The purpose of the dark or anything black, including myself, is to help you delve into undiscovered territory. I think that's what these emotions are talking about. It's about you really kind of delving into the depth of your own emotions here, Virgo. And kind of expressing it with the other person as well. Including myself is to help you delve into undiscovered territory. As a human, your emotions, largely unexplored, are your core. To be fully human, you must investigate each and every one. We assist the root chakra, the seat of survival and security. Our mutual job is to ground and stabilise you, making it easier for you to balance and work with your emotions. Emotions are meant to be experienced and contemplated, not condemned. Do not scold yourself for your feelings. Instead, look at the reasons behind your emotional reactions. For example, when the selfish side of yourself rears its head in a situation, do not chastise yourself for it. Selfishness is engendered by the fear that you will not be provided for adequately. If your life is filled with a poverty consciousness, insecurity could be normal, making it difficult for you to feel generous. Selfishness is what it is, separate from a value judgment. If you feel selfish, you are not a bad person. You are afraid. Do not curse yourself or your emotions. Different kinds of emotions are frightening to humans. You are particularly afraid of the ones that you label bad, like anger. Who knows what trouble it could get you into? But is anger truly bad? In some situations, anger can be your best friend. It can help you protect yourself or someone else. I think that's what this is about as well. Kind of protection, you kind of holding back here. Humans are almost as afraid of the emotions characterized as good, like happiness. In a wonderful state, happiness is a wonderful state to be in. Would you not agree? But you could have another reaction. You may worry that you are undeserving of happiness, or you may be fearful that happiness will not last. You may be incapable of enjoying the feeling because of associated negative concerns. In this way, good feelings may become an uncomfortable, unpleasant experience for you. Emotions themselves are neutral, neither good or bad. They are simply teaching tools. They tap into core issues and help you learn through acting out an experience. Emotions are a great gift. Be grateful for them. Does choosing our card indicate that you have been thinking about your unknown emotional self? What will happen as a result of the emotions you feel or vent? The actions you take because of your emotional condition could be helpful or harmful. When emotions surface, observe them and notice what kind of outcome they generate. With experience, you can make informed decisions about their appropriateness and inappropriateness to create your desired outcomes. Try something different next time if the result is not what you hoped for. Or might you be concerned about what the future will hold for you? Are you a victim of whatever it decides to bring? The future and the present are not out of your control. Yeah, it's kind of this energy here as well. Kind of feeling as though you don't have any control over the situation. You are the creator and the creation. You determine your world by your thoughts, words and actions. All you need to do is make choices that lead your life on a positive path. If you can shape your future, what is there to fear? And I think that's what this is saying here as well. This is about creating your future. It's about transforming something from one thing to another, as I was saying, into much more of a happy place. Do not be afraid of the dark. Welcome the unknown in yourself into your heart, for there lie all the possibilities yet to be created. Their manifestation into matter and reality is up to you. There we go again. Manifestation into reality. It's coming in, Virgo. Let all your experiences, all your emotions be your guide to the ultimate unknown, the divine, which is ultimately what we're all working with anyway. So, Virgo, I'm going to finish your reading here and say thank you very much for watching me. Also, for those of you who have subscribed to my channel recently, thank you very much. And for the rest of you that subscribed before and have come back to watch my videos, also thank you very much. And for those of you who have liked up my videos, I really do appreciate it, because it gets it out into the bigger mainstream kind of YouTube world where people can kind of view it. The more likes something gets, the more it gets put out there, which is why YouTubers are always saying, please like it up. So if you have liked my video, please could you thumbs it up, because it does really make a difference to me. And also tap that bell if you want to receive any future videos that I'll be putting out there as well, because I will be, like I said, getting all the rest of the videos out as well. And if you don't know where those placements are for your natal chart, there is a free link down below. And lastly, please subscribe. For those of you who are not subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel and also share my videos to anybody who you think may be in a situation where they could do with hearing the message that I'm trying to put out there. And thank you very much in these really difficult times, Virgo. I hope you are keeping well, and also take care of yourself and take care of those around you that you can. Hopefully I'll see you back soon.